What's your biggest fail when it comes to online dating? I have a duck and I accidentally wrote dick. Not trying it sooner. At the end of the day, we're all just people looking to connect and share a Netflix account. Not being exciting or witty enough in the text game. In real life my expressions and demeanor save me, not so much online. Chatted with them a year by phone. Once we met we had nothing to talk about and it was the most awkward encounter of my life. Oh man. The first time I contacted someone, it was via the Onion personals, which were really a thing in 2005. I just made fun of a band she said she liked. I wrote something like, "My only problem is that you are into band," she replied, as she should have. "My only problem is that the only thing you offer is a criticism." I still cringe. I matched a girl who looked really cool and complimented her hair. She responded with something along the lines of, "I'm so glad you messaged me. Most of these guys just match and never message." I've seen almost exactly the same line before from bots, so I assumed she was a bot and said something snarky about it. She replied, upset, and then unmatched me. Matched with someone on a dating website before Tinder. Got to talking. Seemed like a chill dude. Even though there were red flags, he insisted we were dating before we met and I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone. Agreed to meet up with him at a cafe by work. Organized with my receptionist, she would ring me at an allotted time and tell me I had to come back to work. So I had an out. Met with the guy for coffee. It seemed well enough. Then my girl rang me. So I told him I had to get back. His response was, "I've got my work van here. Do you want to jump in the back and have a quickie?" I noped out of there and went back to work. A couple of months later he ended up coming into my work to see my boss. I made polite small talk with him, then when he left my boss called me into her office to ask how I knew him. Turned out he was married to my boss's niece and I dodged a ducking bullet. Update. Sorry to leave you all hanging. Boss believed me, and we never spoke of it again. I was too embarrassed to raise the subject again because I keep my private life private, and her because I assume she kept the two between her and her niece. My boss was also a black belt in jiu-jitsu, so not the person to duck with. Yes, I should have known better when he got possessive straight out the gate, but I was young, insecure, and lonely. It's not a crime to want to be wanted, but good lord was I a naive fool. Agreeing to meet someone with a topless profile pic. My god, he was vain. Not realizing how much can be lost in the absence of voice inflection and physical social cues. She was being flirty, but I just kept asking, "How's your day going? What are you up to?" and other generic questions until she stopped and never messaged me back. I met with this very attractive woman off upper middle class Tinder, Bumble. She was way hotter than me. At some point during the evening, she leans forward on her bar stool, narrows her eyes and goes, "I know there was some reason I swiped right on you." Because at this point she could not remember IA. Went on a date with a girl from Tinder one time who told me that she found children very attractive. After that I stopped mentioning that I had a child on my profile, and took down the pic of me and my daughter, and just brought it up with the girls that I felt were likely to stick around after meeting in person. Putting all my eggs in one basket. Once I start a conversation with one person, I just stick with that person until I know it's not going to go anywhere. I can't deal with trying to remember stuff about 2+ people at the same time. I don't mind though if the person I'm talking to is talking to more than one person, as long as if we're on a date, they're not on the phone to them or mix us up. Using Plenty of Fish, the free dating site. It was like the Netto of dating sites. I chatted briefly with one woman before telling her I was going out for a few drinks. Next day I checked my messages and she had sent some. It started with, "Why don't you come round to mine and get drunk together?" Progressing to, "Why are you ignoring me?" Then to, "I think you're gorgeous and we will be good together," and finally, "Don't you ducking ignore me." I sent her a message the next day to never contact me again. Not capitalizing on those hot singles in my area. I got more matches on Tinder posing as Adolf Hitler than myself. Making a profile than never signing back in even when I get an email notification that someone's interested. I was swiping through profiles so fast that I accidentally swiped left on a girl I wanted to match with. Used Tinder Find to get her info and messaged her on FB. Thought she would appreciate the effort but ended up thinking I was a creep and blocked me. Dated a guy who was in a Poli-C PhD program. Confirmed. Who had a law degree. Confirmed. But had left practice because he didn't enjoy it. Nope. Had been arrested for a federal hate crime as a neo-Nazi and was ineligible to practice. Thank God for Google. Finding a wonderful guy and then cancelling the date last minute because I wasn't over my ex. Joke's on me. We rematched 10 months later. He gave me it about my behavior last time and told me because of that I had to come up with an idea now. March will mark our 1-year anniversary. Most of the fails are typical not super hot guy problems. Almost no matches or messages. Depending on the site. The biggest fail in my ex. We spent 5.5 years together. I was super supportive of her, getting her on her feet in life. Covering expenses for the first 2 years until she stabilized. Helped her find her first job. Helped her through college. Helped her get her first job after college. Helped her with her first job after college. But then the moment I start struggling with money finding a job, we moved across the country for the one she got. She kicks me out. I mean, I was struggling for a while. About a year. A month after she kicked me out, I managed to land a job. Good times. I tried Tinder. Stopped when it was searching so wide it started showing me women in neighboring countries. Didn't get a single match. I thought I had a pretty sick pickup line. Which was a "Sayabari so cute you make a baby deal look like a pile of it." Needless to say, I'm still single. When I connected Spotify my Bumble profile and unbeknownst to me, 3 of my top 10 artists were the Wiggles, High Five and Blippi. Pretty sure I missed a few connections because of that. Her husband. You have no idea how many neglected wives are out there online and they love to omit the fact that they have husbands. Watch out for the MILFs. She'll break your heart and her husband will break your neck. Make profile. 0 matches. Give up and delete. Wait 1-2 years. Make profile. No matches. Give up and delete. Now that 100% of the platforms lock you out of messaging unless you've been matched first, online dating is pretty much dead to me. I end up befriending the girls I meet instead of dating them. To me a girlfriend should be a friend too, but that doesn't work for most people, so I just have a lot of friends now. Which is all cool until you end up crushing after one of them who doesn't feel the same way about you. Getting a free trial of Tinder Gold on an account I'd had for at least 8 months in 3 main geographic locations, and proceeding to swipe right on every single one of the guys that had liked me, all 2,500 of them. Nothing other than anecdotes and thousands of messages has come of it yet. Oh, also, I did this at 9 PM the night before a huge college math exam. Procrastination at its finest. My only match was a friend how made an female account so I get a match. Agreeing to meet up with a guy whose profile said he was in prison for several years for a non-violent felony. High school me was stupid. Guys keep wanting to come over to hang out. I live alone. Not comfortable having someone I never met over. It's a major turn off for me, therefore conversation ceases there. Actually met a smart tall blonde girl on FB. Was smooth as hell and got her to go out with me. She was an hour late to our date but showed up. Unfortunately I got blackout drunk during that hour. Also lost the friend whose comment I met her on. I tried Tinder for a while. After a month or so I contacted and was talking with this girl and things seemed to be going well. We had similar interests in music and movies. Similar sense of humor. etc. Eventually we were talking about hobbies and I casually mentioned I played Magic the Gathering. Immediately unliked. Like. She had time to receive the message. Click the menu and hit unlike. That fast. Assuming that the stupid OkCupid match percentages meant anything, I did a bunch of the questions and, being a person who believes in numbers and statistics, mostly attempted to chat up guys who were, apparently, 80-90% similar to me. 50 plus messages over a 8-month period and 3 unsuccessful dates. but it worked out in the end. I reached the Gene Goodall observing primate behavior level of not giving a duck. Saw a decently attractive man around my age. Also, so many people try to get with you despite being 20 plus years older, with an interesting profile and a 70% match, and sent a question about his work. We're married now. Met an art student off Tinder and we went down to the river to smoke weed late one night. I was having a really good time and she was very sweet, funny, and chill up until this happened. We're sitting on a hill by a small road when a cop rolls by slowly. I start putting the weed away and that's when this 4'11", glasses wearing, dyed hair having weeaboo art student decides it's the perfect time to shout, "Duck the police." What? I ask wide-eyed and frantic. Yeah, all cops are pigs. Again, yelling. Not screaming or anything but she's loud enough and he's close enough to hear us if he had his window down, which I guess he did because he shined his flashlight on us. What the duck are you trying to do? I ask literally in a ducking panic. Did you know 40% of cops beat their wives? No, dude. Cops are trash. I'm an anarcho-communist. Cops are completely unnecessary. TL. Dr. Anarcho-communist art student tries to kamikaze our lives. I have no idea how to talk to people. Not having enough money to go on dates. Thinking I can do casual and falling in love. One time I chatted with an actuary, risk manager, but I thought he was an aviary, a giant bird cage, so he blocked me. I was 20. We met online, dated for several years. We had our issues, but we always worked them out. On Christmas morning, yesterday, she was in a foul mood, told me to take the presents she bought me and to leave her house. Didn't even want to open the presents I got her, including a diamond engagement ring. It still hurts this morning. Girl sends one word message, "Hi, okay." It's not easy starting a conversation, so no problem. I reply with a medium length message. I comment about some interesting hobby mentioned in her profile and ask for more details. I tell her about my day, some other random stuff. Overall a good effort. The next day she replies, "Hi, how are you?" She was pretty. I went on a Tinder date with a chick one time and her profile gave off no red flags and the way she messaged and texted also gave off no red flags. I get to the bar and she looks a little different but I'll let it slide. She begins to tell me she forgot to take her bipolar meds so she shouldn't drink too much. Then proceeds to have 5 Long Islands by the end of the night. She tells me she wants to come back to my place so we go back, watch a little TV and her phone rings. She silences it. I didn't think too much of it, then it rings again, and again. I finally ask and she says that's my old man. He couldn't hold me down. I tell her okay, well I'm not one to get between people, and I offer to buy her an Uber home. She whines for a while but I was done with her on this date. The Uber eventually pulls up and I walk her outside and what a coincidence. Here comes her old man. The guy comes at me trying to get in my face and she starts yelling at him, calling him a psycho for tracking her phone. They start arguing pretty bad and I slowly start backing away. Within 5 minutes, they were making out in the back of the Uber, which BTW I got charged $15 for making him wait, and he eventually told the Uber to go. He was gonna drive her home, and there was that. I went back inside, hit my bong and watched Rick and Morty with my cat. Not sure if it counts as a fail, but meeting up with guys, just to eventually realize I'm lesbian.